Live.
We're live.
How about
Hi.
that? It's a
Tuesday.
and we're live.
How about that? We're like early to go live too, so
Hopefully we'll have more people now.
Yeah.
We're getting ready. We're getting ready to head to
Yeah.
San Diego to run an event. Change management for utilities. We're leaving on what do you call it? The butt crack of dawn on Friday.
I call it the ass crack of dawn.
Anyway,
no, Saturday.
Anyway,
it'll feel like Friday.
Tonight we're going to bring you. We work with a lot of people, especially in for the women's conference that we run. We hear a lot of what's going on in people's lives, and we thought we would share with you the top 5 complaints the top 5 things people complain about in their lives, and I guarantee all of them are correctable. Am I correct?
Okay, so this is the top 5 complaints that we hear, especially from women, and yes, they can be fixed. They're fixable, which is the good news. Right. But you know what? Sometimes you just want to complain about stuff.
Yeah. All right.
But if you really want to do something, yeah. So, number 1.
I do all the work.
Number 1, I do all the work.
I know for Ashley in her previous life.
My previous marriage, I believe, is what he's referring to.
Yes.
They
had a lot of people used to come in and clean for them and do the dishes and cut the lawn and take care of all the maintenance. Was that how it worked out for you?
No, it was all me. I had to do everything, and at least I thought I needed to do everything, and I did do everything. But it left me exhausted. It left me angry, a little resentful. I asked for help with some chores and did not get help. And it reached a point where it was easier for me to just do it than it was to face the conversation.
But we hear this all the time. Like, hey, we'll say somebody might come to us and say, I'd really like to take a class on a spin class or something like that. But I have to do the dishes, I have to do the cooking, I have to do the laundry, I have to clean up. My husband doesn't do anything. He doesn't do any of that. We even have somebody takes care of the lawn. My husband, but he just thinks it's my job, my duty to do that. Well, here's something that I will guarantee you, or I'll tell you. If you keep doing all the work, you're going to keep doing all the work. You're teaching your family that it's okay to let you do all the work.
Yeah, that's a really good statement because, I was in that situation, and what I didn't realize, we were in a situation where we grew up. My ex-husband grew up with his mother did everything, so he just assumed that I was going to do everything. And interestingly, in my house growing up as a kid, we had somebody come in to help us with cleaning the house. We had party helpers who came to help when my parents were entertaining. So it was kind of like 2 different ways this could be. And I adopted it's okay, I'll do this. But when I realized I really needed help while I was running my business, like I can't do all of this myself. And I hired somebody to come in and clean the house. And actually, my ex-husband made it very clear that I was a failure as a mother and as a wife because I couldn't do it all. And I'm like, you're right, I can't. Like, I'm okay with this. I'm really okay writing this check.
So what was your solution there?
I just did it. I hired somebody, and the second they came in and started cleaning up, it was good. And I think he actually started to realize, like, oh, you know what? She's happier. The house is always clean when I, come home because the cleaners have been here. So this is good. But it took making, that first step.
There's an extreme to that. I mean, you don't have to do anything in your house if you can hire someone to do just about everything for you.
Now you can, yeah.
Yeah, I met a woman at one of our industry events. She used to be the assistant to David Copperfield, the magician. She used to put his socks on him. and tie his shoes while he was on phone calls and doing paperwork and answering other things. And she would basically dress him before he went on stage. She was telling me the stories. It's pretty crazy, but we know people that one of our friends. She was complaining about doing the dishes, and her friend said to her, "Hire someone, hire someone to do the dishes." So I mean, there's people who love to do the dishes. I'm actually one of those guys that I like to clean. I don't mind cleaning the house, but we do have someone comes in and cleans our house. But I don't mind doing that stuff.
I get that. I don't necessarily mind doing it either, but when I realize how much time I'm taking away from things that are more important to me, like spending time with my family, spending time with my business, making calls, just focusing on sort of the money moves that really matter in the business. If I'm thinking about how it's competing with the laundry or cleaning the house or doing the dishes, then I'm better off to outsource those things.
So a way you can get started with this, especially let's say you're a typical family of 4 and you got 2 kids and a husband and a dog and cat and everything. You start assigning chores or assigning things to do around the house. It's going to be a shift for the whole family, and you have to tell the family, "Hey, we're going to have a shift. Let's have a family meeting." Also, we had done something with the kids. We put together about 10 years ago. We put together the kids' rules for the house. And this was plain and simple. What's expected of you, what's expected of everybody in the house, and we had a checks and balances system where we could call each other out. The other thing we had is we had a reward system. If you went 3 days without a check mark, and check marks could be for running in the house, cursing, leaving dirty dishes out. You had 3 days. We have like an ice cream treat. Like went out and bought ice cream.
We had small steps that were easy to accomplish, and they were also sort of smaller things, smaller rewards that we were giving after a few days, so that the kids could keep that in their minds. Because you can't say, okay, at the end of the summer we're going to do this really big thing. That doesn't keep a day-to-day goal for the kids. So. And we ended up doing something at the end of summer, like, hey, if we reach this goal, after we accumulate all of this with our points or whatever system that we had, we're going to do, like, I think we went to a water park and took everybody to
We did. It was fun.
It was a lot. It was a ton of fun, but it was great for them because they learned, like, oh, okay, this is what I need to do. To
taking out the trash. Somebody was assigned to take out the trash. Somebody was assigned
trash, just cleaning up after themselves.
Put the dishes out of the dishwasher. All those stuff that takes time.
Difficult, and it wasn't super time taking, but when you add it all up, it really makes it.
Yeah. So if you're the person in the family that's doing all the work, you can't. There's no time for yourself, and if you teach your family to do that, then you're always going to do all the work.
You're also teaching you're also teaching or training your family, if you start to delegate, that your time is important. Their time is important too, and to make sure that we're all chipping in to help out, so that we can all focus on what's most important to us. So delegate.
All right. Number 2, I'm out of shape. That sounds like I'm out of shape. I need to lose weight. I just wish I was thinner. I wish I had more muscles. I wish that I didn't get out of breath.
I'm out of shape can also mean I'm low on energy. I'm having difficult focusing. I don't like the way I feel in my jeans. I know I could look and feel better, but I'm not there right now.
Here's a crazy thing. I know some really in shape people. I know professional athletes. These guys are like at the peak. They're like, no one feels like they're in peak condition. No one feels like they're in the best shape of their lives, or no one feels like they're doing a great job with their body. And the reality is, this is the most important one. If you feel out of shape, it's a complaint. Getting healthy, the opposite of being out of shape, is getting healthy. Getting healthy is the most important thing you can do in your life. It's just, and if you're 20, 30, 40 years old and you've done it at one time, or you've never done it, you took 30, 40 years to get there. It's not going to happen overnight. You can take baby steps
So true.
to get you back into shape. I just got through a program where they added a new healthy habit every week. Uh,
So you started small.
I started small.
Okay.
I'm in pretty good shape. I work out. I exercise. I eat pretty well. I drink probably a little more than I should, but even this program for me, we started small, and it was uncomfortable. I mean, that's what change and getting healthy is uncomfortable, but the results are I feel much better. I think I'm a little thinner. I've got a little more muscle mass.
Well, I think you focus too. It's on energy level and how much if you start. I know for myself, if I start eating things that are not as good for me, my energy level just goes down, and I don't have time to have low energy. So it's like a reward system for keeping that up. So I've definitely, and you've always been good at this, but I've definitely started drinking more water. I have started. I used an app. I was a few months ago felt heavy, and I was uncomfortable in my weight in my jeans. So I went on Weight Watchers, and just using that app and tracking my my daily habits and tracking what I was doing really helped me see, and it happened almost immediately where I could see, I'm eating too much of this, or I'm eating the right foods, but I'm eating them in the wrong quantities, or I'm eating them at the wrong time of day. So it really helped me see the picture and then change the picture.
And you're not going to see results right away on these small changes, but over the course of the week, you will see results. I guarantee.
It didn't take long.
Well, it doesn't take long.
Yeah.
Here's the thing too. Like nobody wants to do this. I want to eat that whole cheesesteak. I love cheesesteak. I can eat a whole cheesesteak and a whole pizza. I just what they call a Philly special. You can take a Lorenzo slice, which is about this big, and you go down and get a Jim steak and you put it in the middle and eat that. Like it's like 3,000 calories. I can eat that, but I really can't. It doesn't fit into where my goals for myself. But even the small stuff. This morning, we got up early. Ashley got up early and said, "Let's go for a walk." We went for a half-hour walk. It started the day. We had a really busy day. We've been going full tilt for like 12 hours now.
Are you glad you went on the walk?
I am glad. I didn't want to do it at the time.
I didn't either.
I didn't want to do it, but I got up there and trudged my way out. We went for a walk and we had a nice discussion about the business and came back and made breakfast. And that's one of the things. Going back to number one, I cook, she cleans. Or I cook, she does the dishes. And I told her if she doesn't want to do dishes, I'll hire somebody to do the dishes. And
I don't mind.
She's told me I can hire somebody to do the cooking, but I actually like cooking. But anyway,
yeah, I don't mind doing the dishes. But on that note, I mean, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but a daily routine, just knowing you're going to do this every day, commit to doing it every day. And even if you don't get, you don't have to go on a 4-mile run. But if you can get a 10-minute walk in, get a 10-minute walk in. It'll make you feel so much better on two fronts. It gets you moving physically. And then it also, it takes care of that part of your brain that said, I didn't do it. Instead of pulling you down and dragging you down, you're like, hey, I accomplished a walk today. Yay me.
Going back to drink more. This is 20 ounces. I didn't know it was 20 ounces. I try to drink one of these before anything in the morning. I just try to put one of these in my body.
I'm a bit of an addict of this.
Yeah, we can't show that.
Oh.
They didn't pay us yet.
Water. Drink more water.
It's the number one thing you can do for your health. Number one person. Also, I've challenged everybody. What's that?
I said it's not very expensive either.
Mine's even cheaper.
Right.
So get the app.
Get
an app. Drink water. Start small. Here's to start small. Looks like my health fitness thing we started with 50 push-ups. I'm gonna tell you, even being in good shape, 50 push-ups was a challenge for me. Day 3, I was hurting. Start with 5, start with 10, and increase it by 5 each week. Deep leg squats, stuff like that. Just really tiny things. I challenge you to do it. You will feel better about yourself.
And let's hop on to number 3. I am not being paid what I'm worth.
I'm not being paid what I'm worth.
What do you mean by that? We hear it all the time. I talk to especially women who say, I have these degrees and I've been working at this company for this amount of time and I'm bringing all of this. I'm doing what they've asked me to do. I'm doing more than what they've asked me to do. but I just have the feeling that I'm not being paid what I'm worth. So we recommend.
How do you determine your worth?
A couple of tools. First, it's important to just benchmark, find out what are other people making who do what you do at like-sized companies, similar types of organizations, similar types of in similar industries, and you've got some ideas of how to do
Yeah,
that.
and I'll be telling you my own personal thing. It was kind of funny. There have been times when I thought I was underpaid. There was one time I had a job, and myself and the people working in that position, it was a straight commission job. But if you put the work in, the pay outpaced the work, and it became fun. I mean, it was. I was making more money in a month than the average person makes in a year today. And now there was a circumstance, and it was legal.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Fortune 500 company. It was a cool deal. And myself and there were a bunch of us that were probably attempts were successful, and we used to all say like, "Man, this gravy wagon's going to end soon, but we're going to stick it out." Because remember, this is one of the best pays. I mean, this job could have paid $50,000 a year would have been fine, but we were making like $40,000 a month at the job, and the company was super happy with us. I mean, it was a fair trade. But there's other jobs I've had that you're making $30,000 a year, and other people are doing the same job making 80, and you determine your self-worth. So one of the ways you determine that, a couple of different things here we're going to go over. You can use. I'm a big fan of this thing called the internet. It has a lot of tools and apps out there. One of the sites I was looking at today, PayScale. Do you know what an event professional? We're sort of event professionals. Do you know what the average event producer makes a year?
I don't.
$55,000.
Okay, that's good for us to know.
Very little room for commission. Now we own the company, so a little bit different for us. But if you're an event professional, and everybody always says, "Oh, I want to produce events," or especially people who are younger, they're like, "I want to produce events. I want to do that."
It does sound like fun, doesn't it?
Oh, it sounds like great fun, but know that there's a ceiling that that $50,000 a year, or $55,000 a year is probably after 10 years, and you're going to start much lower than that, and that's all you're ever going to make.
Well, I think it's important too to make sure you understand what other benefits are happening within your business or your job that may be high value for you and don't, are low investment for the company. So one of the reasons why I went into the business of putting together business conferences is because I absolutely love to travel. It's something that's sort of core to my being and was really important to me. And there are other people out there who hate to travel.
Let me ask this question. Did that come back and you thought you were being paid what you're worth at the time?
I don't think I had a problem with what I was being paid until I did. And then I left the company to start my own business.
Okay.
So there was never a moment of you're not paying me enough. It was more of I knew that I was valuable to the company and I was still learning.
Right.
So for me, I felt like, well, okay, I'm still learning how to do this. So while I do that, I thought that I was getting compensated relatively well. But what I think is really important to do, and we've heard this from a lot of the leaders who've spoken at the Power Conference to Advance Women, is to understand what your company sees as a value and start doing those things. What value are you bringing to the company? What value are you bringing to your team? What value are you bringing to your boss? So that you can help push that. And in the process of that, promote what you're doing, promote the value that you're bringing. And as you promote that, then you can confidently ask for that raise or confidently ask for more things that are of value to you. So if there's an opportunity, they may say, look, we don't have the budget to pay you more money right now, but we do have an opportunity to send you to more conferences. Is that something you're interested in? So you're also in a position of learning and you're in a position of travel. I would be all over that. Yeah, sign me up.
The first thing in not being paid what I'm worth is determining what you're worth and figuring out what you're worth and being realistic about that work. Just because you work for a company for 10 years,
doesn't mean Yeah, I'm sorry.
If you take on more responsibility, doesn't mean unless you take on more responsibility or solve bigger problems, you're not changing your value to the company. And the longer you're there, the longer you're in the same position, you're probably becoming more of an asset or a liability than an asset. If you're not moving forward, you're moving sideways or down. So just because you've been there long, you don't deserve more money. Now you determine what the job is worth, determine if you're being underpaid. And if you're, let's just say you are being underpaid, you either if you want more money, you got to
ask,
woman up and get more money, or you stay there and take the money you're getting, or you leave and find another job. I mean, that's your three options. Now, on the other side of the coin is if you go to your boss and say, how can I make more money? And if there's no room for expansion or more money, or even in your own business, you might have to move on. It's time to roll someplace else, because your assets, your skills and assets you bring to the one organization are probably more valuable someplace else. I remember my ex-wife was making X amount of dollars, and it was fairly low. And she was working for a university, and someone said she was thinking about getting out, and someone offered her a job. She was in human resources. Someone offered her a job or was talking about it, and they're like, well, it doesn't pay very much. And when I said, and what the money that other job didn't pay would have been a 25% increase from what my ex was making. And it was like, so, and they were both not a lot of money, but it was a 25%. If you're making less than 50 grand a year and you get a 25% increase, and I don't care if you're making 30 or if you're making 50, you get 25% increase. That impacts your life significantly at that level of income. That's a huge. I mean, that's a better car. That's a better house. That impacts you.
And in the university's defense, they have people beg to work for universities so that they can send their kids there, because usually universities have a tuition-free program. So again, it's about identifying what's of value to you, what value you're bringing to the organization, what's important. If salary in and of itself is something that you feel that you need to negotiate, then go negotiate a higher salary. But if your company is not in a position to give you a higher salary, look for other things, or other benefits, or other intrinsic parts of the job that can be high value to you and low cost to them to give you.
All right. That brings us to number 4. It's a big one.
I don't have enough time.
I don't have enough time.
Who has enough time?
Nobody has enough time.
Everybody has enough time.
Everybody has enough time. Mm-hmm. Think of the busiest, most successful person, whether you know them personally or you just know them as a public figure.
I don't know how she does that all.
Here's a secret.
I don't know how she gets all that done.
Here's a secret.
What's the secret?
They have the same exact time that we have.
It's true.
You have.
They have the same 24 hours in their day that you have in yours, that I have in mine. And that's why they probably have someone who comes in and takes care of the laundry. They probably have somebody who comes in and takes care of bringing in the groceries or managing the house cleaning. And they've realized that making that investment gives them time. It buys them time. It's an inexpensive way to buy your time. So I think one of the best investments we made, and we did it early in our relationship, and I'll mention this again, we hired someone to clean the house. It was an instant relief, because not only does it wasn't the easiest decision to make though at the time. I mean, it was like, I don't know, and then as soon as we did it, we were like, oh yeah, that was
what you don't realize when you outsource a chore in your house, whether it's the lawn, the cleaning of the house, even I call people in. I'm very handy, and I work.
He can fix anything.
I can fix anything. I call people in the house.
Sense. Yeah.
Because here's the hidden time. The hidden time. Let's just say clean the house. You somehow have to purchase the cleaning materials, and then you have to take the time to do the house. If you don't have it on a regular schedule, and I'm venturing to say that if you say you don't have enough time, you don't have it on a regular schedule when you clean the house, then you're thinking about cleaning the house. Oh, the toilet's dirty. It needs to be cleaned. And you're at work and you're doing something like, the toilet's dirty. I forgot to clean it. I can't have people over because the house is dirty. Now with us, our house, the person takes care of our house and she's awesome. I know exactly what it's going to be. There's still trying to be a mess on the floor, and I'll just be like, Debbie's coming.
Sorry, Debbie. She does a great job.
She does a great job, but I don't have to worry about it anymore.
That's
it's not my worry. Well,
and that's it. Even the time that it buys us, it does more than buy the time. It buys the worry, right? We're free to say, someone else is handling that. We've got to focus on this. This is the money move. These are the money moves we need to make happen in our business, in our job, and spend time with exactly on things that matter. It's if I don't have enough time, I need to block the time. So I'm going to block the time to spend with my family. I'm going to block the time that I need to focus on my business, to do the things in my business that will make it move forward, so that when I'm spending that time with my family, with my business, with my spouse, I'm not focused on the parts that I've outsourced, and that's freedom.
Here's some other time things some quick tips on time. What can you do to get a handle on your time? Hardcore. You start journal everything you're doing. You can eliminate things you're doing. If you have a commute to work in the morning, instead of listening to the radio, listen to the morning show. And I actually like to do that because I know that people are on there. But anyway, instead of doing that, listen to an audiobook. Listen to get something that'll teach you another skill. Instead of binge watching TV, how many shows? Hey, raise your hands. How many people are watching the regular show every week? And it's sucking an hour. And here's another secret. There's an hour of TV is 44 minutes of actual programming. The other time is commercials that you're being fed on products to clean your house, which you're no longer doing if you want something coming in. And you're free, your mind's clearing up. You don't even have to worry about going to buy those products.
That's great. So yes, start journaling. What are you doing with your time? Just write it down as you do it. It's so much easier now.
Got up at 7:15.
It is so much easier now to keep track of how you spend your time with the technology that we have in the palm of our hands, to just find out what it is that you're spending your time on. And it doesn't take long. This is similar to when I was talking about tracking my diet. I saw very quickly, I'm spending too much time on this. I'm not spending enough time on this. That's going to change. And I made the behavior change almost immediately.
I know one thing on your diet. One thing you were guilty of doing.
What? Drinking a lot of wine.
Well, that too, but you would have a piece of toast.
Right.
That's like 150 calories. And then you'd put jam on it, like another 100 calories. But then you put whole butter on it. And all of a sudden, your piece of toast that's going with breakfast is turning into 325 calories. Wow. Yeah. What if I only have half of it?
Well,
I mean, that's
or why have it at all? At that point, I was just like, you know what? It isn't worth it. Or I was really good at the exercise, but then I'd come home and I'd blow my diet. So yeah, that was one of the things.
Because you're tracking it.
Because I was tracking it.
And you see what it is. Like,
because the second I started tracking my time, I realized, like, wow, I spend a lot of time playing a dumb game on my phone. It's a nice, relaxing thing to do, but I don't need to do it for more than a few minutes. And once I reach, then I'm thinking about it. Then it's kind of like a game, right? Because then you can start to say, okay, I'm going to see how quickly I can get this done so I can focus more time doing this. And it is a game, but I mean, the beauty is then you're thinking about what are some processes I can start to do to make sure that this is faster and more efficient and gets done sooner, so that I can spend that hour with my son on a Wednesday night and watch Stranger Things with him, so that I, I'm clearing my schedule of other things that are money moves.
So I'm going to add two things here.
Okay.
we talked about number 2 being your health, being vitally important. Number 4 turns into the same thing as your health. You only have so much time on this planet. We know a couple of billionaires and we know dozens of multimillionaires. The thing they focus most on is time. You cannot make more of it. You can't buy more time. You can trade dollars for time.
You can't store time.
You can't store time. So if you waste time, you can never get that minute back in your life. We might be wasting people's time right now. They're just watching this. I don't know.
Well,
but anyway, we're having fun.
Anyway, we just wanted to share how important it is to focus on your time.
Journal, and then journal for 7 days. I challenge you, journal for 7 days, and then go back and look at each one of those and which one of these can you outsource.
Probably more than one.
And I'm the only one I'm having trouble outsourcing right now, thinking about it, is somebody like after I'm done going to the bathroom. Like, can you outsource that?
No, you can't.
But if you lose your health, somebody's going to do it for you anyway, so it's not going to matter. So you can outsource it, but do you want to outsource it? But anyway,
I like that. I like, and then focusing on how you're spending your time, like what Gus was talking about, taking your audio books that are your self-help books, ways to invest in yourself. Spend some time with that instead of. I mean, I think music is important to me. It's critical to me, but I don't need to spend an hour listening to music while I'm on my run. I can listen to an audiobook while I'm running and then just kind of get jazzed up as I'm about to kick off phone calls.
Do you know what our billionaire buddies do?
What do they do?
They actually listen to the audiobook on their commute. And then 5 minutes before they go to where they're going, whether it's the office.
They play their high energy rock star song. So that song that just gives you an awesome boost of energy, makes you feel more confident, makes you feel alive, makes you feel that's the song you want to play when you're just about to like step into.
You got Tony Robbins, you got our billionaire buddies. They're playing hardcore rap. It's kind of cool.
Whatever that song is that just makes you feel like you've got it all, play that song right before your next meeting. You're walking into your office. You're about to sort of gear up for the day. That's the best way to do that. So number 5 in our list of complaints we hear the most frequently, I don't know what to do next.
I don't know what to do next. I feel stuck. I'm stuck. I had no options.
I don't know. I'm in this position right now. I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing so much. I'm exhausted at the end of the day. Like I don't even see an option of something to do.
And it's so funny.
So for that, yeah, what's funny?
So funny. You and I, Ashley and I, we meet a lot. Especially, it's more women than men, but we do meet some men like this. And we talk. We give them the talk. So the talk looks something like this. I hate my job. Or what do you hate about your job? My boss sucks. I tried everything to do it. Blah blah blah. So I just keep asking them questions. Why do you hate this? Why do you? My husband sucks. Why does he suck? He does this, and does this. So what does that mean to you? Well, I don't have time to do what I want to do. And then we sort of lay out and go like, you do have time. What do you really, really, really want to do? And the funny thing happened, we just spent time with one of Ashley's friends, and I spent a lot of time talking to her late at night. I almost felt like good buddies have a couple beers late at night, and we had a couple beers, and we've had a couple vodkas and champagne. And she really her lifelong dream is become a pilot. And if she's watching this, you're gonna hear this is, and you're gonna thank me anyway. So where we hanging out 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I got a text yesterday.
What was it?
She's signing up for classes to finally become a fighter pilot.
She has retired. She has retired from a couple jobs. She felt stuck. She felt unappreciated. She felt a lot of things, and she felt like she couldn't do what she really wanted to do. And
we kind of presented to her that she's got options. So one of the things that most of us feel like in that moment of, I don't know what to do next. I feel stuck. I don't know. Like, you become so blind because you're so busy, you don't even notice that you do have options. Someone we've talked to before said, you've got options. You may not like them, but you've always got options.
Yeah.
But for the situation that we hear this complaint so frequently is, you actually do have options. And sometimes we're so focused on what we don't like, we're not thinking about what we want. So to actually start listing out, like, write down the things you want, put your vision board together, put pictures of things that you've wanted around. Is there a house that's always inspired you? Is there a city that you've always wanted to travel to?
The schools your kids want to go, you want your kids to go to, your family success.
The book you've always wanted to write, the business you've always wanted to have, the people that you've always wanted to invite over for dinner. These are people, these are things that you've always yearned for. Start focusing on them. Put them into that list that's actually really important. Now that you've cleared your schedule, because now you have more time, you can actually take action on putting these things into your life. And that's what there is to do next. What there is to do next is to start doing these things.
So three things you can do. Find a book on the subject, right? Attend a conference, just like the Power Conference Advanced Women. We talk about everything we talked about today. We talk about that there. These women are going to be sharing that. And one of the really important things, ask someone, talk to someone who's successful in an area you would like to be successful in. If you have a friend, if you feel like you're not being the best mother you possibly could be, and you know this one person is an amazing mother and does great, or on the surface she appears like an amazing, Bonnie, you seem like a really great mother. I wish I was as good as you are. I wish I could do that I wish what you do for your kids I could do for my kids. Bonnie, can you share your secret? Share what you do, and you might go like, damn, that's too much work. I don't want to do that. Or you might take a couple nuggets out of there and change it. And meanwhile, Bonnie might be like, God, you drive a new Mercedes. How do I get to drive a new Mercedes? And everybody thinks a new Mercedes is expensive. They're not really that expensive for a little bit more expensive than a new Chevy in some ways, but they're not that much more expensive.
I think one of the most important things to do, and I'm so glad that you brought this up, is to share with the world, put it out there. What is it that you want in life? Not what you don't want. Put out to the universe what it is that you want. Talk to people about it, and you will find out it's not as difficult to get these things as you think it is. They're attainable. It's probably not as much work as you think it will be to get those things. So start talking about it, start reaching out, start sharing your experiences with people. We were just on a call with somebody who talked about, it wasn't until I started sharing some of the difficulties that I was having in this one particular situation that I had never faced. I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to bother people. But the second I started talking about it, they started to say too, hey, I had the same thing happen. Here's what I did. And it was a really bonding experience for her. And it helped her grow, and it helped her appreciate, there are other people out there who are dealing with this too. So go find the people who have what you want and ask them how they got it. Ask them what they do. If there's someone that you see as being always fit and always healthy, and that's something that's important to you, ask them what they do. You can shorten your learning curve on their routine, okay, I don't need to do exactly what she's doing, but I can start doing things more like that, and then I'll start seeing the results that I want to have in my life.
Okay.
I think it's great. Do a vision board. They're really good for you. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that there's a conference coming up November 11th and 12th called the Power Conference to Advance Women. And if you're in a position where you're looking for more options or more ways to get in action on what you really want to have happen in your life, or even better, somebody who really needs a nudge, gosh, she just got this one thing out of her way, she'd be in much better shape. Or if you work with some folks who could send a team, it's in Hollandale Beach, Florida, or virtual. And you can find out more about this at theadvanceconference.com. Check it out.
Thank you.
Thanks for
See
joining
you guys
us.
later.
I hope this helps you.